Hello and welcome back to The Stack, and here are today's top stories. The first story, Paul Pelosi. Wow, we've got another update for you on this situation. So previously, we've reported about how Paul Pelosi was still drunk 2 hours after his DUI arrest, and we reported that Paul Pelosi will spend at least 5 days in jail for the DUI. Well, now we have a new update, and the situation just keeps getting worse for Paul P. So we now learn that Paul Pelosi had a drug in his system, and it appears that this drug combined with the alcohol really made Pelosi under the influence. When officers encountered Pelosi, they found him sitting in the driver's seat of his damaged Porsche. He had red, watery eyes. He was slurring his speech and smelling strongly of alcohol. Well, that's not all. Pelosi gave officers what he probably thought was a get out of jail free card. So it was a police courtesy card that he handed over with his driver's license. It's a card for a charity that supports police officers. Paul probably thought that that was going to help him. And remember, we have not seen the body cam footage of this arrest. In fact, they've refused to release the body cam footage of his arrest of this incident. I would love to see how officers responded to Paul Pelosi handing over this get out of jail free card. But there's a larger narrative here, and it's that Paul Pelosi probably thinks that he's one of the most important people in America. And how dare he be arrested for drinking and driving? Look, we knew that the left, the Democrats, were the party of elitism. Well, Paul Pelosi is showing just how elite he thinks he is. And the second story, Joe Biden's presidency has been a complete and utter failure. It's been a dumpster fire. I mean, every step of the way, it's been utter chaos. He's destroyed the country in just, a year and a half of presidency. It's been horrible. We've seen headlines lately about Democrats not wanting Biden to run in 2024. We've seen headlines saying that Biden is testing the limits of his age, being this old, being president. We're hearing whispers of no start to rise about the question if Biden should run again. Well, those aren't just whispers anymore. Two Democratic representatives from Minnesota, Representative Phillips and Craig, both came out and said that Joe Biden should not seek re-election in 2024. Someone should replace Joe Biden. Now, just imagine this. I mean, normally the party rallies around who the president is, especially, when it's someone that is the most popular president in history, 80 some million votes. Well, these two Democrats are turning on Joe Biden and want someone else. And I think that these two Dems are just the ones who have had the courage to speak out against Biden. I imagine there's actually a lot more Democrats in Congress and all across America who don't want Biden to run in 2024. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Will Joe Biden be primaried? Will he lose a primary against a different Democrat? We'll find out, but it's going to be interesting. And the third story, yes, we're talking about electric vehicles again. Now, imagine, would you drive your gas car every day? You come home, you park it in your garage. You don't really have to think about it. Well, if you've got an electric vehicle and you park it in the garage, you've got to worry about whether or not the battery will catch on fire. If you have a Chevy Bolt, it's really a big deal. So Chevy is offering a rebate to Bolt owners who purchased the previous model year vehicle. And if you take the rebate, you basically have to agree with General Motors that you won't sue them over battery fire issues. And so by offering this rebate, it's basically General Motors admitting that the vehicles actually do catch fire. That seems pretty problematic to me. I mean, what are they? They're basically bribing people with thousands of dollars to not sue them over their batteries catching on fire. You know, the Bolt has been plagued by reports of fires since 2017. I mean, in fact, a lawmaker in Vermont was charging his Chevy Bolt at home when the battery caught fire. It's a horrifying problem. We just reported yesterday, I talked to you guys, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about an electric Jaguar that the guy plugged into his garage, and 15 minutes later, smoke was billowing out of it and it burnt to ash in the middle of the street. Does that seem safe to you? These fires are alarming, and Chevy's admitting that they do happen. So if you want to stay up to date on the latest electric car fires, the latest on Joe Biden's failed presidency, and the latest on the Paul Pelosi DUI scandal, you can head to westernjournal.com. And please be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of The Stack.